Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Hopefully, all of you are having a wonderful day so far. Maybe excited for the weekend? It is Friday, after all. I will say, not having a 9 to 5 at the moment does make the weekends feel a little less special. But I certainly wouldn't go back if I had a choice. But yeah, hopefully y'all are having a good one. I had a surprise stream yesterday because I was really excited for Foundry. Had some fun with that. Now that I've kind of slept on it, I'll probably go back and play it again. But is that something that we'll be doing in our evening streams? Probably not. The evening streams, I kind of want to stick with the horror aesthetic as much as I can, or at least have the desire to. And we finished up Dead Space as well, so I'm thinking for this evening, aka the second stream today. 1 second. Sorry, I just ate a little while ago, so my stomach's still adjusting. What would be good? What would be a good game for y'all? There's Cult of the Lamb, which I definitely want to play with you with y'all, but I kind of want to wait because there's some pretty fun like interaction between Twitch chat and that game. So I kind of want to wait to do that game when we actually have like a decent amount of like people in chat, because then it would be fun, because then you would be like people in the town that we're building, you know. I was thinking maybe Dredge, because that one is like fisherman vibes, but then there's just this horror aesthetic of Aldrechian creatures influencing the worlds, and that's very on par, you know. Let's see. Let's just scroll through real quick and see what would be good. As far as today, as far as this stream, I was kind of going back and forth on it, because on one hand, it hit me Wednesday where I was just like, you know what? I just want to just sit down and just get the model done and over with, right? And now that a few days has passed, that feeling of just like, let's just get it done, has kind of died down a bit. And I'm just kind of like, that will just burn you out. I might get the VTuber model done, but then I won't stream for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But no, I still really wanted to get it done, so then we can start focusing on making the game as well. But it's not even just that. I'll be talking about this more Sunday as we really get down into like the nitty gritty for what we are juggling and how we want to go move forward with it all, right? I mean, by that I mean, like, what's the purpose for things? Why am I streaming? Why am I making a YouTube channel? Why am I making these projects? Like, why am I so determined not to just lean or just pay for someone who's their expertise? Is this, why is it that I need to use my skill sets? And I don't know. If it's to save time, it makes sense, and I'm okay with it. But if it's something about utilization of skill sets that I don't have, and this reluctance to do it, even though that's really the best time to do it. You know what I mean? I would definitely recommend for the average person that if you don't excel in something, it's okay to lean on someone who does, because what you excel in may be something that they need to work on, right? This is why it takes teams to make things. Yet for some reason with me, it's why in Final Fantasy 14, I became an Omnicrafter. For the first, I think I was the first Omnicrafter in our group of friends, and that was because that I loved making things for my friends. There was a certain level of like love language there, where it was just like it was very satisfying, and I just loved doing it. But I burned myself out with it, but it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I need this piece, but from a completely different skill area. So then instead of just buying it off the market board, I was like, I'm just going to level up until I can make it myself. And the natural thing of that is just, I would be, instead of leveling up one thing, which I think my main thing was like blacksmith and maybe armor smith, because I wanted to make the cool weapons that my friends wanted to make. And it's like, oh, I need a certain material, but it's selling it at an exuberant price on the market. So I'm just going to upgrade miners so I could just get those materials myself. Oh, I need this part, but in order to actually process it, I need to have the armorer class. So I'll just level that up. And then that just kind of like ended up raising everything evenly, which on the design end of things, excellent, right? And that's how I feel with this, is where it's like there's just something in my brain that it's like, oh, I want to do this, and if I can't do it, I want to learn how to do it, so then I can do it. And I don't know if that's just a part of my personality. I don't know if that's like a trauma response. You know what I mean? That's a discussion between me and my therapist, I suppose. And actually, I see him next week, I think. So it would be a good idea to mention that, now that I think about it. This is your weekly reminder to take care of your mental health and see a professional. Not that I'm saying that I wouldn't listen to y'all here, because I certainly will. If y'all ever need to talk, I'm here to listen. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm here, right? To help people in a way that is comfortable, in a way that is beneficial, and in a way that I do well in, but won't kill myself over. You know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's like that, but I want the freedom to just be like, oh, I'm gonna be playing this game. I'll listen. I'll say this now because A, there aren't as many of you, and second, probably people won't watch the VOD for this, so I'm willing to spoil this a little bit now. But there was one thing that I wanted to do, in which there's a game called Grounded, right? Which is essentially Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the game. And it's one of those adventure crafting classic games that I so very much enjoy, except you're like the size of like an ant, right? And what I wanted to do was that I wanted to make the Mama Dodo be big, and then the VTuber model be really small on Mama Dodo's shoulder. And I thought that would have been so cool to open the game and y'all be surprised by that. And it would just be such a good gag. And like every new game that I would be playing would be just a new add or change to the model or to an object in it. And I like where there's a little gimmicks with everything, right? And I love that. And I love the idea to be able to do that. But I don't want the restriction of money and the restriction of time and the restriction of other people's schedules and what they need to do in order to get that done. But so like in a real life example of like, oh, I want to do that for Grounded. If I hired someone to make my model, I would then need to be like, cool, I want to play Grounded. I can't do it just tomorrow. I would have to plan that like a good month in advance at least. Let the person that I paid for the model know, and then see if I can commission them to make that version, and then rig it, and then make it, and then pay them for it, and then I can play it. Then I can move forward with it. And I don't know. Maybe what I'm looking for is artistic freedom. Maybe it has something to do with my frustration with being in my own way. And this is a way of shaking off those ties, those chains, you know? Honestly, it's difficult to say why I'm so determined to just do it on my own and do it in a quality that I would consider satisfactory. And maybe I won't ever know. Maybe it's just so part of my personality that that's just the kind of person that I am. I certainly don't think it's a bad quality to have, but I know it's a quality in which it makes life a lot more difficult than it has to be. And I have a tendency to go down that route of life's already very tough for many people, for many reasons. But I would imagine a lot of it has something to do with what we give to ourselves. Either through arrogance or thick-headedness, morality. It's tough trying to do the right thing, or what you believe is the right thing. So I'm going to keep trying to move forward. Maybe this frustration that I'm feeling is just impatience. Maybe the, the way I grew up, which was instant gratification, instant gratification. Where it's taking, well, I've been at this for a while now, right? But in reality, I've only been at this for a little over a month. Late March is when I started my, I wouldn't say debut, but my first stream. And maybe it's just me being frustrated. That it's just, why am I not getting things the way I want to get things? But when I look at it, from an outside point of view, it's like, well, yeah, you just started. You haven't even finished the things that you knew would help get more eyes on you, aka the YouTube and short stuff. I haven't even finished editing my first video for YouTube yet. I haven't even made my first short yet. So of course it's going to be slow. It's been a month, But then there's a part of my brain that's like, I thought I'd be making the game by now. I thought I would have my VTuber model done by now. I thought I would have all these things finished by now. So when I see the things of where I feel like where I should be at and where I am, that causes a lot of frustration. But what else is new, right? It's how I feel about my ability to draw. That's the source of the frustration. There's a poor evaluation of should. Hell, what does it should even mean? In what frame of reference do I have to where I think where I should be? You know? And the answer is I don't have any. And when you don't have your own frame of reference, people are already really bad at determining future goals and things going in a particular direction. And these are experts in fields. They would still be really bad at it. And I am brand spanking new. I am a baby when it comes to streaming, when it comes to YouTubing, when it comes to drawing, all these things. I am a baby. And I have to be real with myself, you know? I have to be real. That before I took off work, I was frustrated that I couldn't draw at all. I couldn't get myself to practice because I was so burned out. And now I'm drawing 2 to 3 times a week for hours. That's a huge leap forward. But it doesn't feel like it. Because where I feel where I should be is always too far out of reach. So my biggest problem is pretty simple, isn't it? I have a problem with should. Where I feel like I should be what I should be able to do. Because that doesn't mean anything. Not really. The only thing that you can, and honestly should, compared to, is what you've been able to do. Only your past can determine your future. You can't guess your future. You can certainly try. You're not going to do a good job. So today is practice. Tomorrow is the first Saturday. Let's see. Let's see here. If I look, I want to say the first Saturday in like 3 or 4 weeks that I'll actually have off for myself. Maybe that will give me, because I've been taking 1 day a week off on Saturdays, but you know, I've been feeling that with, you know, meeting up with friends, and I've been feeling more and more exhausted. And I was like, well, that's because you've been doing that. So my Tuesdays and Thursdays that should be spent more on YouTube stuff, they just, you know, I haven't been as adamant towards it. And that's because when you need rest, but you have shit you gotta do, you kind of half-ass both. You don't really rest and you don't really work. So, I mean, I try to move forward with the mindset of work hard, play hard, rest hard. You don't half-ass any of it. But you need to give yourself the rest accordingly. Yeah. Alright. Off my soapbox. I'll look at what games we're going to play this evening near the end of the stream. We should at the very least... well... I'm in the art category. I should probably do art. Huh. So what you're looking at is last week's. Bottom right, this is where we're going to be practicing with the blind method. For those that do not know, the blind method is where you take a reference, you take it away, and you try to draw it blind without looking at the reference. Then, and this bottom right one is the blind. Then you compare it to the original, or at least you compare it to the reference, and then you fix everything that's wrong or off with a different color. So as you could tell, my color is green, and all of it is green. I have issues with proportion, so I need practice with proportion. And if I don't get that under control, it don't really matter what I draw. It's gonna look weird, and not the, oh, that's spooky, it's scary, it's uncanny. It's like, no, the people who draw really good and uncanny things have a good foundation of the fundamentals of proportion, and they stretch on purpose, not on accident. Not inadvertently, right? So then you take the one that you've updated, and then you take the original and you try to manually adjust it to what you just overlaid it with, and then you compare it a second time. So it's essentially like, you know how in school, when you are giving a rough draft of a paper to the teacher, and then they come back with notes, and then you apply those notes, and then you get graded on how well you applied the notes? It's like that. Except the difference between the normal reference, the normal reference is what you would probably consider as like an open book test, versus one that you don't have access to the notes anymore. That is a blind test. So in a way, I'm testing myself, which fills me with nothing but anxiety, because I have test anxiety. I took a test anxiety test, which is the funniest thing I have ever heard in my life. And I remember it was in middle school, and I remember that I think the second highest person was like a 70. Everyone was like sitting around like 30s, 40s, 50s, and this one of them person got 70. I got 137. They're just like, my God. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I knew about it. There's no way I get like super high marks on all my worksheets and homeworks and all that other kind of stuff. I fully understood the what was happening, but as soon as you put a test in front of me, my brain just stops functioning. But I'm trying not to put my head in that headspace of like, oh no, this is a test, because that's just gonna make me anxious. And in fact, it's kind of working. I'm feeling a little anxious again. I put it into a frame that is not good for my mental health. Oh man, that's unfortunate. But yeah, overall, it's just try your best to get your brain to understand what you're looking at, not to miss the bits and pieces necessary. And the last one, I mean, you could tell from the original, like, there's definitely something going on. It's not quite right? I keep on making the hat taller. I keep on wanting to shift things to the right. Hair in general, I struggle with. But also, when I think back of the drawings that I used to make, I didn't draw people. Not really. I always drew animals. I drew dinosaurs. I drew dragons. I drew snakes. I drew half elephant, half bees. You know what I mean? Like, I drew random weird things, but I didn't really touch too much about people. So it's difficult, to say the least, trying to draw a VTuber in this manner. I mean, don't get me wrong. What I could do is just do what the Dodo. Just draw the Dodo. I already drew the Dodo, which I thought I actually did a pretty good job on. And then just use that as my VTuber model. I could certainly try that. Try to make it so that I apply the animations and rigging to the actual Dodo model itself. But all that's going to do is reinforce the idea that the Dodo model is going to be the model. And I don't want it. I don't want that. I have a story, I have a lore, I have a whole other plans that I want to utilize for the idealist, the character. So, today, we will be doing a practice again, and then next week, or depending on how fast we're doing, we might try the VTuber model today. We will see. We're going to give it a shot again, and we're going to see if we feel a little more confident in it. As far as what we're going to do, we're going to decide how we're going to move forward on Sunday. One thing at a time, right? If you try to juggle too many things at once, you're just not going to get through it. You're going to burn out, and then you won't get anything done, and then you'll spiral. At the very least, that's my experience with it. Okie dokie. Where are my layers? There we go. Copy. First, we're going to put on Do Not Disturb, so y'all won't constantly hear any kind of notifications that come through. Here's our reference. For those that don't know, this is Pip from Van Helsing, or Helsing, the anime. And when I was thinking about the overall visual of the character, Pip was the first person I thought of. So I want, if I can draw Pip relatively decently, I feel like that is a good starting point. Trying to absorb as much as I can. Let's see here. Let's just get a feel for the head, right? And then we have like that. So he's facing a little bit to the right. And then the hair parting, it looks like it's like here. And by that, I mean, like, I'm still trying to understand hair better. So I apologize if this is obvious, but like that. You know, see how the hairs move in that direction? And then like this. And then the hair is also moving in this way. Well, last time, see how this part, the hair, is going the opposite direction? So obviously, I struggled with that as far as understanding the direction in which the hair should flow. And then the neck is underneath the earlobe. Hair's there. And then the hat needs to have a good, I would say, like 20% angle. And that this part and this part is about equal distance between the top of the hat and the beginning of the nose, looks like. And then nose. And then the... Oh. Okay. That's enough cheating, am I right? Did you notice? Did you see it? Alright. Time start, class. Nope. Now. How scary is that, though? Just a blank sheet of paper? Nothing more terrifying than a blank piece of paper. No. No. What is wrong with it? It looks... No, that is not the face. What is wrong with me? I was about to say, like, I actually do a good job on the head shape usually. Should we cheat a little bit? Maybe speed it up a little? I think this is too narrow. So what we're going to do is we're going to check. I think it's too narrow. Can I? Yeah. See? I was right. But that's the important part, right? The important part where is... Did I end up hiding my settings for the thing? No. I wanted to make it bigger, but for whatever reason... it doesn't really want to... show me. There we go. Much better.
I think that one's not bad. I'm going to try the lines. I feel like the bottom was too low. If I need to make lines at first in order to get everything proportional, then that's exactly what we have to do. Let's see something. Is this too high up? I feel like it is. Should be like... Watch this first one actually be correct. And I was dead on, and then I changed it. And then it was like the hair was like here. Let's see. There was a big one, then a small one. No. Mm-mm. Watch this be way too small. It would be funny. It's like, I got the proportions right. It's like, yeah, if they shrunk. It feels small, but we're moving forward with it. Not gonna lie though, the face don't look that bad. Can't wait to fuck it up. Oh no. See how flat my hair looks? That's why I'm working on hair a bit.
I need my hair not to look so flat. And I think part of that is there's a little bit of overlap. Just a touch. Right? And then I think maybe this one is like a little more up. Looks a little better, but not by much. I like the head shape. So, which makes me think that the hair is wrong. And then it was like, boo, boo. And then we have like the neck there. No, it was more like oval. So, you know, good. Just like that. Okay. Not. I still feel like the ear is a little too big. And we also grade ourselves a bit, right? One, the head probably it feels a little too wide. Either the jaw needs to come down, or like everything needs to shift down a little bit, and I scrunched it, or I made it too thick. But we are going to judge yourself. You shouldn't judge yourself too hard. After we're done, then we're gonna be like, this is what we think is wrong with it, and then see if our eyes are able to tell what's wrong with it. Because that's if we don't see the problems, there's no way in hell we can fix the problems, right? You have to be able to see first. Your eyes and recognition is literally the first step. If you do not recognize what needs to happen, then there is no way that you are going to be able to improve. Unless it's by complete accident. Or you have people who have a good eye for this stuff. And that's one of the reasons why putting your art in front of a expert, or really putting anything in front of the expert in what you're trying to do, that's why it's so beneficial. Because they have developed through experience a discerning eye for what is the thing that you're trying to do. And they would recognize like, oh, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. And if, depending on who you're going to, they'll also tell you like, this is how you fix it. Which, to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of people who tell you how to fix things. Learning how to fix things on your own is one of the best ways of learning. Way too thick. That's not terrible. Maybe a little too much to the right. Personally, what really helped me learn is trying to teach other people the topic. Because I had to know what the hell I was talking about in order to help it. One of the skills that I have been given in life, luckily, is that I'm able to take very complex and difficult to understand processes and really dumb it down. So a good example of this is one of the places that I've worked in the past. This is the idealist, not the character. This is idealist, the person, right? Eventually I'll have, with the VTuber and everything, I plan to have a sign that flips between canon and not canon. So it's like the person behind the face is talking, not the person with the face, right? To make it a little less confusing. But for now, you'll just have to just listen. But the that looks wrong. Look at that little T-Rex arm. One of the places that I used to work in the past was that I was a scientist in bioprocessing. So I worked at a bioprocessing facility. And what that is a gigantic container, right? Like, by gigantic, I mean like hundreds, if not thousands of liters, right? And there's just a bunch of cells in the container full of, you know, broth that is full of nutrients that it actually likes, and so that it can grow. Now these cells are cells that are making particular drugs, or at least a key component in them. And the important factor of this is that it's actually the same process as like making beer, like the exact same process. So there is a joke that goes around where people kind of quote unquote retire and make their own craft beer thing. So I know my friends kind of joke, they're like, we should do our own beer thing, and I'm like, guys, I know how to do that. Like, I actually know pretty much how to go about doing that. And then I think this one goes like way up. And then it kind of tapers off. And I think this is where it kind of like does like that. But so the way I describe that whole complicated process is you grow cells that make drugs. That's how I explain it to people. When people asked what I did, that's what I did. That's what I said. And they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I'm like, cool, yeah. I could talk about how I help design like standard operation protocols and had like 4 layers of gowning and the complicated process of engineering the cells. I don't know why I can't do this. But what they wouldn't understand, they wouldn't know. Why would you go about doing it that way? So I took like 2 to 3 years of like learning about all that stuff and knowing how to go about it and boiling it down to just a few sentences. Right? And that is understanding it that way, being able to simplify a complicated process helps, at least me, to understand it in a much better way. You know? This still feels a little too much to the right. The height feels better. This time around. This part on the right feels off somehow. Let's cut it a little in, shall we? What if we did that? And cut it a little shorter. But in situations like this, where the skill is determined less to do with the knowledge that you've gained and more to do with the application of the knowledge, right? It's the muscle memory of that knowledge, the application of it. That makes things a lot more difficult. It's certainly for me. And as someone who had I'm very lucky in life. In that I tend to pick things up very easily. I tend to learn things very well, very quickly. But that means I haven't created the skills necessary for that when I can't do that. That is way too to the right. When I struggle with it, I don't have the tools necessary to power through it. I lose steam quickly. You know? Because I lose steam quickly, it makes it very frustrating. It looks so off. The left side I think is big again. I think it's the wrong angle.
And I don't remember the shading on the left side here. I mean, I guess I can guess. Oh, we need a... And then we also need the... I definitely fucked up the hair. I don't even know what this was about. There's supposed to be a little bit of here in the bandit that you can see through the hair, and there isn't. So, errors, potential problems, right? This is definitely off. I think me quote unquote fixing it ruined it. This is definitely off. This is off. This I think is too thick. I think I actually did a good job with the face. I think this is too thick. I think the head is too wide. Other than that... And then the hair. Overall, the hair is just bad. I think I got the right, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Angle? But, like, the individual strokes is still something that I struggle with. So, yeah, we will, unfortunately. And then we're missing all the shading there, which isn't good. Not that there's a whole lot of shading to deal with, but for the most part, the lines don't go all the way in like this. They use the shading as in a, like, I wouldn't say replacement for the line work, but they don't have to do the lines in the darkly shaded areas, so which means it makes it difficult for me to do the line work for it. Okay. Am I missing anything else, I feel? Yeah, his head seems a little short. Okay, so now we save. We copy. Copy. And then we paste twice. The first is what we're going to... The third copy is going to be our original that we're going to look at later and compare. The one we're about to do now will draw over for the tracing. And then the second one is going to be our attempt to manually adjust for what we just learned. Right? Look how wide his head is. Look how wide. The angle's wrong. I can't get... Oh, sorry. I peeked y'all. I can't get this hat right. Oh. Bro. I say it's worse than the before. Why can't I get this angle good? Honestly, I think I just need to do the angle. Oh my gosh. It's bad. Look at it. I just don't think I understand hats. I mean, to be fair, I don't draw hats usually. Oh, it's bad. Look at it, chat. Oh. Base too thick, called it. The left, I didn't call the angle. So angle is also something that I'm currently doing. This time the hat was too short, which is a new problem. Switch back to my editing tool. Oy vey. Alright. As far as placement of the nose and mouth and eye, for the most part, it was accurate. Everything kind of changed with the hair. So let me see something. What if I... What did I grab? Oh, did I grab copy 3? I did grab copy 3. Alright, we're just using you then. So what if I grab this part, nose as well, here, here, and we just shifted it down. Yeah. See, it kind of now aligns a lot more with it. So as far as the size proportions of like the nose, the band-aid, and all, I mean the hair needed work anyway, but that's because I suck with hair at the moment. That is fine. Right? So the size was accurate, but the placement was bad because the hair was bad. Not the hair. The hat was bad. The hat, honestly, I think we just need to practice the fucking hat. The hat's throwing everything off. I think I just need to keep drawing the hat. Kinda only half joking. The rest of the stuff, like, I'm still struggling a little bit with, but to be quite honest, like, it's mostly the hat. Actually, you know what? Hopefully this won't mess up how I can work on it later. That is not it. Oh, we could just do this. We're just gonna shut this down. Oh, we forgot the little hair there. That's actually pretty okay. Actually, before I start erasing that stuff, same deal. Let's stretch it back in. Right? So the mouth was stretched incorrectly because the face was too thick. Right? So I am
subconsciously relating things accordingly, right? I can tell how kind of far it needs to be. Actually, this is pretty good here. How far it needs to be from like the side and all that. This, the extra thickness of the face threw everything off. The angle of the cigarette is just wrong. That's 100% wrong. We're not fixing that. AKA skewing that back. For once, our left side is also bad. I don't know, for whatever reason. I could tell from the beginning that I was struggling with it. As far as this, a little more up. Otherwise, that was actually pretty good. The nose was a little off. Need to be just a little bigger. As far as the hair goes, it needed to be a little longer. And I think that might be the overall problem with my hair. Is that I'm used to drawing spines. I'm used to drawing... What is... I'm just trying to get a better look. Now I will say, excuse me, my change in placement of the hat was a good call. I'll give myself on that. We changed that. By that I mean this right here. We knew it was too far out, we fixed it. That's an improvement. That is an improvement. The angle sucks, but... The angle on this one isn't nearly as heinous. Like, it's off by a little bit. And then... it was this. Let's make sure. Yeah. And I think I was just scared of going too high, because I've been consistently making it too tall. And then this one. The angle, the start. Let's see. Let's check the start. The start was actually pretty good. But instead of it going up here where it needed to go, I went, instead of going upright, I went right. So I needed to be something like this. So the actual size, well, weren't bad, but then I also started stacking it to the up left. You see how there's like this look of like going that way? You don't, it doesn't want to do that. It wants to go up. It doesn't want to stack up. Because it makes sense. It's a hat, right? Why would your hat fold inward like that? Now we're going to try something. We're going to see how our proportions were on the left side. We're going to try not to skew because, again, we've learned that me skewing this in this part makes it really difficult for my brain to translate that in the second part. When we tried to fix everything, my brain's just like, how did you do this? And I'm like, I have no idea. You were supposed to pay attention. It's like, nah, I was watching YouTube. Grab all this as well, because it would have been proportional, right? So let's see how this would have gone. Let's try to match it. Okay. If the angle was right, the ear would have been in the right place. The neck still would have been too thick. But I think I would have recognized that. The angle of the hair would have been off, but I think I also would have fixed that a little bit. The most heinous part of this... Let's see, actually. Let's see if I can match the eyes. I did that one nice and early, right? Yeah, I think that's the angle that I was going for. So the eye is just a little bit too short. The neck definitely out. The ear was actually in a good place. The left side of the hat is still too thick. I think at this point I just make it thin. I just if I make it too thin, I'll consider that a good thing. Because bruh. We'll keep it right there. So then... Actually, you know what? Instead of redrawing that, let's just... But now let's look again. So the eye was a little too... And then the pupil was a little too large. You needed like that. Similar to cats. Like a cat's eye, you know? As soon as you got to here,
That should have been the end of it. So like half. Way too long of hair here. A little bit more downwards like that. Like that. As far as shading, I kind of got it. It's the one long one there and then two short ones there. It's just not a good one. In the wrong place. I forgot the braids. I forgot the braids. I forgot the braids. I forgot the braids. No, that's okay. It's only one of my most favorite parts of this entire character design. No, that's good. It's fine. No, perfectly good. No, great. No wonder the neck was off. Oh, I was trying to fill in something that wasn't there. Oh, boy. Well, that's minus points for just forgetting a large part of the character. To be fair, we've only done this 4 times. And people are like, 4 times? In a week? What are you doing? First of all, you're right. But also, second of all, on the other end of the spectrum, where they're like, you're still messing this up 4 times. I believe the blind. What was it recommended? Like, barely getting a glimpse of what you need to fix takes about like 5. And then in order to really understand it, you want like 15 to 20 times. No, what this process that I'm doing here should only take like 10 minutes. This should only take someone 10 minutes to do. But I am slow as hell. But that's mostly because, one, I'm talking with y'all. Like, I'm not sitting there drawing on my on my lap as I listen to like videos in the background. You know what I mean? You're so distracting from that no chat that's happening right now. But also I'm doing like the blind technique is like learning how to draw cheeks better. Like, you don't draw hair and face and hat and clothes and backgrounds and shading, and like, you don't do all that's too much at once. What you want to do is just do like little pieces, and then do that again and again and again and again and again and again and again until you're actually doing a really good job. Then you move to a different part of the body and you do the exact same shit again and again and again and again and again, and then you do that for the entire body. And congratulations, you know how to draw that particular thing, because you've taken it apart. You've taken apart that bionicle in your room that's been sitting there for like 15 years. Not that I would know that feeling. I think I have like a bin of like bionicles somewhere. Certainly not in this apartment. It is way too small. But no, this is one of those things where like I'm biting off a lot for this. I am doing a face. I am doing hair. I am doing all that stuff. So should I break it down further? Or are we like, okay, hair, only the hair, and then we do the hair. We'll draw like the general head shape, and then we'll just do the hair. We could do that. Honestly, I'm considering doing the hat, and just the hat.
depending how fast I'll do this, if we end up like, if we finish this at like 4, I'll say let's just do another hat one, because the hat is, the others have been improving a bit, like rather steadily. However, the hat has been a consistent problem this entire time. Like, if you look at all the different practices, the hat's been a pain in my ass the whole time, and it's throwing off everything. The hat is the bottleneck. Because I don't know how to draw hats. Because I've never drawn hats. You don't know how to draw what you've never drawn before. Not without proper, well, I can't say that. If you have the proper foundations, then you could draw whatever the hell you want, but that's why we're working on it, you know? Where is that hump coming from? As you can see, I overcompensated. I just made a line connecting the two. Right? It's way too short. A. The angle's wrong. This whole thing, garbage. It's garbo. Throw it away. I didn't do shading. It's way too short. It's not even at the right angle. Like, the only thing that it has going for it is that the starting point, I think, is accurate. Let's see. The starting point isn't even accurate. It has nothing going well for it. I will say this. I did remember the little shading thing there, but even that is awful. So this gets a big old fat, get this off of my drawing, you sad, sad human being. Is that a little tough on myself? It is. I should be kinder to myself. But, because would I say that to anyone else? Fuck no. I would never in my wildest dreams anticipate saying anything to that degree to anyone else ever. But learning how to love yourself in the way you love others, especially for me, has been a challenge. And will more than likely be one of those things that I will struggle with forever. Because I don't feel the same about myself as I do about other people. We're gonna do this. Sometimes you gotta do that. So see, it wants to go up. We don't want to go right. We don't want to go inward. We want to go up. Then there's just a little bit left. There's a handful of time, like the first one has a connection. Everything else is just a vague line. Funnily enough, the angle is way off, so that should have been a red flag. And I think it was. I think I recognized it wasn't nearly up as it should be. But understanding the angle of that would be able to tell me, like, hey, the hat is not tall enough.
funnily enough, I will say my ability to trace has gotten significantly better since the start of my journey. Like, my lines are getting pretty clean as I look at these horrible lines, like, here. But it's been pretty clean. It's not bad. Maybe we've been playing too much Planet Crafter for these streams. My brain is just like, wouldn't it be great if you just did Planet Crafter right now instead of drawing? Which is true. But a handful of things. One, we still need to draw the hair out. Can't believe I forgot the braid. I'm not going to say that's part of his personality, but definitely feels like it, doesn't it? Like that hair doesn't even exist. Good job, Idealist. The Band-Aid's a little off, but not nearly enough off that I would... There's enough off here, right? While I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and make the music. Make sure they're looping. Okay, good. Wrong angles. Actually, you know what? If I angle it up... No, it wouldn't. This whole thing was bad. I did remember the shading though. The bottom one didn't have shading though. I added that and I didn't need to. So again, angle we want upright. And then shadow, shadow, shadow. Okay. So that fixes the hats. Okay. And now we fix the hair. This first one, actually pretty okay. And then I got sloppy. We'll keep you. Okay. I didn't have to replace as much as I thought I would. Not gonna lie. And I remembered this one. The one on the far left. So as far as hair goes, the hair on the left side actually did pretty decent. Okay. We're improving in that aspect at least. Let's look at you. gotta do it a little bit more. Kind of like that. I don't think this was anything. Yep. This one, actually not bad. It needed to be a little bit longer. This one, also not terrible. It's the wrong angle, but I did remember this. This didn't exist, so that one's bad. Actually, it did exist. It's just a little darker. It's a little more that way. As far as the amount of little amount of little strands, I think I was dead on. My positioning was a little off, but for the most part, I think I did a lot better with the hair this time. I'm proud of myself for that. That was much more of just like, wow, you were way the hell off, versus you just needed to kind of adjust the angle a little bit and you would have had it. Let's see here. Okay, see? That's not... Making sure I'm not missing anything. To see how it... Yeah, the hat, we need to practice more. Yeah? I certainly think so. Okie dokie. So we're going to move you out of the way. We're going to move you down. And then we're going to move one of you down here. Perfect. What made that? Oh, I probably did on the guy on the left. Okay, so now we adjust the right to look like the left. I am not 100% sure. This is one of those that you're supposed to look at it, or if you're also supposed to do blind again. But the way I see it, if I can't do it while looking at it, I sure as hell can't do it without looking at it. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm looking at it and I still get it off by a significant portion, doing it blind ain't gonna do it for me. I'm still well learning that it's like, oh, I need to properly do about it, yeah? Oh gosh. 1 second. I'm just gonna stretch, get the blood circulation going. Oh. This is your reminder to stretch. Get up. If you're sitting down for long periods of time, you know that's not good for you. Which is why... Oh, when I do these streams, by the way, I'm at a standing desk. I'm standing the whole time.
But that's because with my lifestyle, and lifestyle being, I don't get out of the couch often. I also took 23andMe a while back, and one of the things that was flagged was that I am at risk for like thrombosis and shit like that. So with thrombosis, for those that don't mean, the layman's term is blood clots. I am a lot more prone to blood clots compared to the normal person, which doesn't surprise me considering my lifestyle. So because of that, I am like extra nervous and or careful, because like I don't want that. It sounds like a bad time in a lot of ways. So I want to, and plus honestly the standing desk is not bad. Now what I do want to do at the end of like a 4-hour stream is to get off my feet for a hot minute, which is one of the reasons why I don't want to do 10-hour streams like in a row, because I imagine what I'll probably have to do is not separate my streams accordingly. I don't know. Honestly, it's whatever works best for y'all. And feel free to tell me any kind of preference that y'all have, but like as of right now, it's a 4-hour stream from 2 to 6 Eastern, and then another 4-hour stream 8 to 12 p.m. Eastern. It's a 2-stream thing. And I separate them out. The first one being us working on something, working on a skill, working on games, you know, a lot more constructive and a lot more just vibe, giving advice, talk about life kind of thing. Whereas the evening one is more of a let's play a game, entertainment vibe to it. And I feel like those are different enough that different people are going to like it. You know what I mean? But I want to do both because I do feel like, at least from the feedback that I've been gotten from people, I am enjoyable to watch as far as games and stuff like that. But I also want like making a community where we're developing ourselves in the way we want to develop. That's what I want. That's what I want. But I know that's not for everybody. And especially in that kind of atmosphere, in a lot of ways, the people who may need that aren't always looking for it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it hits you a bit. And you're like, actually, I kind of needed that. Anyway. Man. I'm also sore from yesterday because I worked out with my brother. He tends not to take it easy on me. We ended up shifting to 4 sets instead of 3 sets. So it's problematic. I wouldn't say problematic, but it's, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But I feel like that's a prerequisite to be a streamer. You know what I mean? First things first. I'm the realist. We'll do the hat. I remember this. Actually, if I remember correctly, it cut through. It was like that.
Is that too thin? That feels too thin. I definitely didn't fix that hair on the left. Whoops. So if I remember correctly, the hat on the right was actually pretty okay for the most part. It just needed to be adjusted a little bit. But this needs to be brought down. That feels too big. Come on. There you go. Come on. Are you? This needs to be down a little bit more. It was like this, I think. And then this needs to be way up that way, I believe. And then like that.
Did I hear a random cat? That was weird. I heard like a meow. For no reason. Way too big. Okay. Okay. We're moving this over a little bit. It's not far enough. We're going to cheat a little. We'll ignore the neck for now. This is too thick. This eraser's way too small. That's a bad neck. And now I feel like it's too long. I elongated it and now I'm like, I don't like it anymore. I want to say it's that. Now it looks too short. Oh. We're leaving it. We're leaving it. We're leaving it.
A little too big. Yeah, like right there. I don't know what the word is. It needs to be more circular. That's better. And this one, it needs to be more like that. Yeah. Okay. We did forget this. We had to kind of do that. We didn't have to erase it before, but we do now. Because we're not going to manually move it. We're not going to transform it. As far as this track, I think this is my favorite one. Honestly, I kind of like that last hair tuft there. If I remember correctly, he was actually pretty good. And there I go, taking the white again. I don't understand how I keep doing that. Must be a shortcut where my palm is activating it. Wrong direction. Better. This still feels too short. The face. Maybe. For me, it's the oh wow, I messed that one up a lot. I think this just needs to be raised up a little bit. See how this has so much room? That line feels short to me. I don't think I shifted things down enough. I don't know. The bottom of the jaw and the mouth look like it's a good distance. Maybe I shifted the hat down too far, which is also possible. It's not terrible though. I'm definitely getting better. Oh, just at a very slow rate. But that's just how drawing goes, isn't it? We even added hair. Hey, we added the braid. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it looks like... I also like to say... Or I like to judge it by the doppelganger effect. You know what I mean? Like, would these
would you know which one is the doppelganger if you looked at it? And the answer is yes. Until I can say no, I don't do a good job. It almost looks like the right one is the left one's younger brother. You know what I mean? It has some softer touches to him. Those little black edge marks almost look like freckles. Looks younger. So we know something's off on it. If I were to guess, the head needs to be elongated just a little bit more. And the left side is still too thick. The left side of the hat is still too thick. And this part right here is still too much to the right. That's my guess. Everything else I think is pretty good. All right. Let's see what our final grade is. I had it all there, and I still got the mother effing hat angle wrong. No, actually the ankle. The angle's right. It went too far. I took it too far down. Right? If we look at it. If we took everything that's like here. And we just shifted it up a little bit. See? See how it fits? I took the hat too far down. But we're not here to fix the problem, are we? We're here to judge ourselves. It's certainly better. This part of the hat is actually pretty good. The hair, I definitely messed up here. Definitely messed up there. I think I added something I wasn't should have added. It's way too far out. Like, I definitely made this go out that way. Cigarette was actually pretty okay. Mouth was pretty close. Band-Aid and nose. The nose is almost spot on, so good job on me for the nose. The nose is good. Eye patch should have came down a little bit lower. Everything on the left is shifted poorly due to the hat again. Sorry. I'm trying to decide what's wrong with the hat. Obviously something went wrong with the hat. I'm trying to determine I'm trying to pinpoint why I can't seem to get those things. The angle of the things are okay. They're just too far to the left. I shifted it to the left, basically. Is it because the angle is wrong? Maybe. If the angle of the hat is off, then I'm going to adjust accordingly. So there is a non-zero chance that the angle is what fucked up the right side, but the left side, not really. I was giving the same rules to the left side to the right, and that is not the case. The right wants to be upright. The left wants to be just left. It doesn't want to be up left. So better, but not, certainly not good. The part that needs the most work is the hat. If we can get the hat consistently right, then if you can get the hat consistently right, we're golden. Yeah. Yeah. Let's put this, let's move things around. We got that. Unhide our original. You ever seen the covers for Animorphs, the book? I know that's very much a 90s thing, but like, actually, when did Animorphs come out? It was definitely my age group. Granted, I don't know how many more they made after I stopped reading it, so who knows? That's what it kind of feels like, going from an abomination to a handsome man. Okay. I wonder if we open it all up and then take a look at all of our originals and see some kind of progression. I do plan to eventually making a sheet of all of them in comparison. But so let's see here. Let's open a new one. Doesn't really matter. Then we'll open pip 2 and pip 1. Pip 1. Pip 2. Open. Look at that thing on the right. That was my right. This is the first practice. Look at the original. Oh my gosh. It's so bad. Look at it. Holy crap. Okay, hold on. Oh. Oh shit. It's all one layer. Is this also all one layer? It is. It is all one layer. Oh, I probably, instead of practice 1 and practice 2, these are, if I had to guess. Don't save. If I had to guess, I renamed them as a JPEG. We'll do 5 and then 6. So funny. Okay, we're gonna do you, copy, edit, paste, then we're going to do you, copy, paste. So this is the difference between number 1 and number 2. Sorry. Listen, if you don't laugh at yourself, what are you living for? All right. Where are you here? Why are you here? But sometimes you have to look. This is why it's also important to write stuff down and all that other kind of stuff. Because, like, how else are you going to determine your progress, right? If I remember correctly, the third one is when I started doing it blind. The second one, I don't think I did blind. I think I ended up looking at it, but I don't remember. Okay, so we got... Can I, like... Right? Okay. Then we're gonna go to you. Okay. I didn't even get the hair the first time. I say that like I didn't just make that exact same mistake today. I want to say this one was my first. I kind of want to go back. I was just trying to do it so that it would be like they could all fit. New. Should we do 4K? No. And then we'll add a new layer. And we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all, I wouldn't say blind. The first one was definitely not blind. The second one, I'm thinking that it wasn't blind. And then the third one, I'm definitely know it was blind. And then the fourth one was blind. So definite blind. I'm not sure about 2. So then let us look at five. And we're going to look at the adjustments comparison. We're not going to do the comparison. Comparison should be equal across the board. Wow, good job, me. Okay, so this is the comparison one. Then we go to 6. Copy. Paste. Okay. Maybe it would be better to shrink them. No. When we look at there we go. I was wondering what that red one was. Is there any way for me to be like, okay, cool, I want to minimize you by an exact like percentage? Because if I make it too big, I want it to also reflect too big. You know what I mean? Because if I look and I make this one compared to this one, that is way too big. You know what I mean? Like, this one was way too wide. So the scaling was off. Can I make like a super wide one? Not really. I could switch the width. Well, width is the first one, right? The super wide one would be 4K. So if we took this, can I... Damn. I would essentially have to start over, wouldn't I? Can I select all and hit copy and then hit paste? I can. I'm so smart. Then we go to 8. Then edit, copy, edit, paste. Come on, come on, come on. Why are you trying to run away from me? That's not bad. Looking at my work for the last week or so, I mean, we took a few days here and off, so we'll say 2 weeks, right? The bottom ones are getting a lot better. The top ones are also getting a lot better. So we'll save this. Save as pip comparison 1 through 4. Done. And we'll save it again as a JPEG, and I'll put it in Discord for y'all to see. For those who are not here currently. Let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4. Original. Adjusted. Honestly, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna write original in red and black. It feels right. Yeah. Honestly, this also feels wrong in green. Look at 2's hat, though. It's just whoosh, straight way on the left. Honestly, I think my day 3 was a lot better. At least hat-wise, day 3 was really good. Day 4, the face was better. We are well on our way to what is considered a glimpse of what needed in order to become better. We need to do this 20 times. We'll see if I even need 20. We'll see if I'll need more than 20. But I certainly have gotten faster. I think even before, maybe I'll go back and check to see how long it took to finish up. The first one took like a little over 3 hours. The second one took, I think, 3 hours. The third one, I want to say it took like 2.5, and then this one took like around 2. So I'm getting faster. I'm getting better, and I'm getting faster. So that's another thing that would be kind of interesting to see, is how fast I'm getting as well. And that's also a huge thing, right? Because if I can do better quicker, then it's not nearly as much as a time commitment. Which also means more drawing, which means more practice, which means I get even better, quicker. And I love that feedback loop. You know I do. I'm honestly thinking of Planet Crafter. I think that would be a good way to kind of finish the rest of the stream with. So I think that's what I'll do. And I am planning on, so, you know, I've been putting VODs on the YouTube, etc. I am planning on going back through my VODs and separating them out. Because a lot of my VODs are like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. And I don't think the algorithm knows what to do with my videos. Because it would be like, because some people, it's like, oh, I want to watch Idealist play Dead Space. I don't think you want to watch me do art for 2 hours and then skip ahead to that. Oh, at least in my brain, that's what I thought people would do. That's why I timestamped it. Where it's like, oh, people will just skip to the point of what they want to do. But people's not going to watch things they don't care about, you know?